So in the last video, I would say that on day 6, I would focus on the particles, but that it was a crazy day. I didn't even have time to record a video. So I changed a bit the plans, and what I did is use a few minutes while commuting with the Space Repetition app, reviewing some of the content that I've already learned and introducing new concepts in Japanese. So now in day 7, I decided to cover the particles that I didn't manage to do the other day. And as with many things in Japanese, there are a lot of different particles. There are some particles that have different functions, but again, remembering what is the focus here, that is not to learn all the particles that we can find in Japanese, but rather find out or focus those that would be helpful for me. So what I decided to do is first to get a grasp of what is really, or what are the particles. And I remember that the first day when I was trying to get the basics, ChatGPT introduced, oh, there are going to be particles and it indicates the function in the sentence. And I was like, what do you mean? So in essence, what I tried, or the way that I understood it, is that in other languages such as English, Spanish, Norwegian, you get you understand what is the role of each word based on the order in which they appear in the sentence, right? But in Japanese, they have the particles for that. So you will put the particles at different points or in different sections of the sentence, and what it will allow for the users or for the people that are communicating to understand is what is the role of the word. So, okay, that's it. Those are the particles. We don't need to dive more into that, but what I decided to do is to go back into the different sentences that we've already learned, and I could already identify that we've been using 5 particles. One would be the particle ka that you added at the end of the sentence to indicate that is a question. So, for example, in the misu wa arimasu ka, that means is a question for do you have water? So that is why we put it at the end. Then we have others that indicate direction, such as ni, and the particle o that indicates what is the object. And then there were 2 more, that is ga and wa, and here I started to struggle a bit because there were 2 sentences that in my mind were very similar, right? And one of them was yoyaku ga arimasu, which means I have a reservation, and the other is the one that I just used, right? That it was misu wa arimasu ka, and that is a question, do you have water? So in my mind, it was like, okay, in the first one I said that I have a reservation. In the other, I ask if you have water. So I would use the same particle, but in reality, what happens is that in one you use ga, and the other you use wa. And they sort of indicate the not necessarily the object. They mark the topic, and but there are some nuances. So you would use ga when it is the first time that you are introducing something, whereas you use wa when you've already talked about it. So for example, when you arrive to a restaurant, the first thing that you say is I have a reservation, and you have not discussed the reservation before with the person that you're talking with now. So it makes sense that you would use ga because you're introducing something new. Whereas if you're ordering drinks and you've already discussed, or some of the guests have already said what they want to have, and then you are going to ask, do you have water? So if it makes reference to something that you've already been talking, then you would use wa in that context. I'm going to be honest, this broke my brain a bit, and I was like, what is going on? But I think that for now I will let it stay here. I will continue, and that's it for the particles for now. But now I've already completed my first 7 days of learning Japanese, so I was thinking that my next video could be sort of a test or a challenge to find out how much I've really managed to learn in these 7 days with Japanese. So, be nervous. We will see what comes out of it. And see you in my next video. Bye bye. Same.